Coming up on WUFT Midday, former U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney died earlier this morning. His life, career, and legacy.
Plus, it's Election Day 2025. What's at stake in some of America's largest cities, and a look at a special election right here in Gainesville.
Plus, 2 people rescued from a boating fire near Hollywood Beach. The people that saved them and how they did it. WUFT Midday starts now.
Watching WUFT Midday.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney was 84 years old. Welcome to WUFT Midday. I'm Isabella Salamone.
And I'm Adragna. According to his family, Cheney passed away Monday night from complications due to pneumonia, along with cardiac and vascular disease. NBC's Blaine Alexander looks at Cheney's tenure as a vice president.
Before he held the office, vice presidents were the butt of jokes. Dick Cheney was a force. In 2000, the closest presidential election ever sent him to the White House.
So help me God.
Cheney was there alone on September 11, 2001. He ordered the administration's first response to the deadliest attack on U.S. soil. Cheney knew the Situation Room. He had been Gerald Ford's chief of staff 3 decades earlier, then a Wyoming congressman for 6 terms, the House GOP whip, leaving to be defense secretary for George H.W. Bush.
Should Saddam Hussein be foolish enough to launch an attack against Saudi Arabia?
Cheney confronting Iraq's dictator for the first time. After 9/11, Vice President Cheney led the push for an invasion to depose Saddam Hussein. But no weapons of mass destruction were found. Iraq descended into civil war. U.S. troops became targets.
Bring the troops home!
Many Americans came to see the Iraq war as a mistake, but Dick Cheney never did.
Saddam Hussein wakes up every day in a jail cell. His sons are dead. And Iraqis by the millions have embraced democracy.
An avid hunter, Cheney in 2006 accidentally wounded a friend with birdshot. Cheney had faced decades of heart problems, in a wheelchair for the 2009 inauguration.
I think Barack Obama is a one-term president.
A 5th heart attack in 2010. In 2012, Cheney got a heart transplant, but coronary disease did not weaken his hardline on al-Qaeda and enhanced interrogations that others called torture.
They were legal, essential, justified, successful, and the right thing to do. This nation has defeated tyrants and liberated death camps.
Dick Cheney, a self-confident and controversial leader who shaped America's war on terror. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
Skies are mostly clear today with temperatures sticking around the low 70s. UF forecaster Jadyn Bottini joins us live from the weather studio to tell us how much longer these conditions should last.
Well, that's right. It is a beautiful day out there today, and we had a chilly last weekend, a chilly last week, but that's not the case for this week. We're actually going to warm up a little bit, but we have so much dry air over north central Florida right now that even our warmer temperatures are still going to be comfy. It's not going to feel too hot out there, and today it's definitely comfortable. We're at 73 in Gainesville, 72 in Ocala, 74 in the Villages, 72 in St. Augustine as well, so pretty comfy, but it's going to be one of the cooler days of the week. Our high temperatures today only getting up into the upper 70s, 77 in Gainesville, 78 in Ocala. But for the rest of the week, we're going to reach the 80s in the afternoons, and our low temperatures today in the mid-50s. And this morning, last night, we saw lows in the upper 40s. So we're already heating up a little bit, and we're going to continue to heat up throughout the rest of the week. And coming up, we'll be talking about how we're staying dry this week. It's also staying sunny and clear. Just a beautiful week ahead of us with a midweek warm-up and a quiet Atlantic we're looking at as we approach the end of hurricane season.
You're taking a live look at New York City, where people are heading to the polls to decide who their next mayor will be. There are other items on the ballot for some Americans in today's elections, holding high stakes for both parties. 2 of those notable races are for governor in New Jersey and Virginia. NBC's Alice Barr reveals why what happens today could be a sign of things to come in next year's midterm elections.
Today, the first major elections of President Trump's second term, offering a snapshot of how Americans are leaning and a chance to shift the political landscape. Governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia featuring 2 Democratic women with national security backgrounds who served together in the U.S. House, now pitching themselves as a Democratic revival.
Are you ready to send a message to the rest
of the country and the world.
In Virginia, former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger taking on Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears for the state's top job, both focused on the economy.
Making sure that you keep as much of your own money in your pocket as possible.
While in New Jersey, Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill framing the razor-tight race against Republican Jack Ciattarelli.
People want change.
As a referendum on President Trump.
On every single occasion, Jack has decided, I'm going to defend Trump.
The president has stayed off the campaign trail while holding election eve tele-rallies for New Jersey and Virginia candidates and making a surprise endorsement of former New York Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo, running as an independent against Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani, who's generated a lot of buzz in a high-stakes New York City mayor's race.
We need to make this a city that everyone can afford.
What experience do you have to be mayor?
While in California, a ballot measure seeks to redraw lines to add Democratic seats to Congress to counter President Trump's redistricting push in states like Texas. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A referendum on today's ballot asks if control should return to the Gainesville City Commission or stay with the governor-appointed GRU authority. WUFT's Midday reporter Annaleis Holz joins us live in the studio with more on what's at stake for GRU and its customers.
Isabella, the referendum comes after a judge threw out last year's vote for misleading ballot language. Supporters on each side say this year's decision will affect how Gainesville's utility is managed and who gets to make those choices. GRU CEO Ed Bilarski says the authority lowered bills and improved finances since taking control in 2023. He argues that returning control to the City Commission could lead to higher rates and take away representation for GRU customers who live outside city limits. Supporters of the referendum say this vote is about restoring local accountability and returning power to voters instead of political appointees.
I don't know the governor, never talked to the governor. There's very little state involvement. The only thing that I've gotten involved in is whoever they've appointed to the board. They're all local in the community, and that's who I deal with. So there's very little that I have to deal with the state.
I believe that people that you select that are known to you locally are going to serve you better than people who are appointed by somebody 150 miles away. And I think that people who sue you to keep you from voting probably in the long term are on the wrong side of history.
Murmur says the referendum gives Gainesville residents a direct say in how their utility is run. The last vote in 2024 passed with 73% support before it was invalidated in court. The outcome of the referendum will determine whether Gainesville Regional Utility stays under state control or returns to local oversight. The QR code on your screen will take you to one of WUTF.org articles that fully explains what's on the ballot. There are also links to other articles with key interviews from potential GRU decision makers. We will have more on this issue on First at 5. Live in the studio, Annaleis Holz, WUFT News.
If you're voting today, remember that some polling locations have temporarily changed. Instead of the Harn Museum of Art, voters will need to walk over to the Phillips Center. Instead of the Days Inn, voters will head to the Rights Union. And voting will not take place at the Hilton Conference Center, but instead at the Doyle Connor Building. Polls are open until 7 p.m.
Tuesday marks day 35 of the federal government shutdown, tying the longest ever shutdown in U.S. history. The fight for both parties, healthcare funding. The Senate could fail its 14th vote to reopen the government, and Democrats are considering accepting a standalone vote to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies set to expire. But there's no guarantee it would pass the Senate, so talks continue.
42 million Americans who rely on food stamps. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program is getting partial funding from the Trump administration for November. 2 federal judges ordered the USDA to use emergency funds to partially cover November SNAP benefits. The Trump administration says it's decided against pulling money from other sources to provide full SNAP benefits for November. Meanwhile, the U.S. Department of Agriculture says it will tap over $4 billion from its contingency fund. In Vero Beach, one organization is helping families deal with reduced SNAP benefits. On Monday, United Against Poverty of Indian River County handed out food vouchers to dozens of families. In the first hour, UAP handed out 50 vouchers, totaling more than $5,000 in relief.
2 people are saved after they were rescued from a burning boat near Hollywood Beach. The Broward County Sheriff's Office Fire Rescue says crews responded to a call about the fire just before 2 p.m. Monday. When they arrived, they saw a burning 22-foot pleasure craft. According to authorities, 1 person was rescued by a Good Samaritan, while the other was pulled to safety from the water by the United States Coast Guard. Investigators are working to determine the cause of the fire.
With Veterans Day a week away, local communities are giving back to those who served. This month, Marion County is offering free passport photos to service members, veterans, and their families. Military members must show proof of their designation in order to receive these temporary perks. Services are available at the Marion County Clerk of Court Annex building during normal business hours.
Marion and surrounding counties are partnering to help veterans find jobs. The 13th annual Paychecks for Patriots Job Fair connects veterans, active service members, and their families to career opportunities. The fair is next Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Marion County Public Library headquarters. And in Alachua County, green lights are shining today to honor veterans. Operation Greenlight raises awareness for veterans support resources. The green lights are a reminder to veterans and families that their courage is never forgotten. The lights will be lit until Veterans Day.
Downtown Ocala is getting ready to shine again as the city's annual winter-themed event returns. It's taking place November 22nd from 3 to 8 p.m. Light Up Ocala features live music, family fun, multiple vendors, and a lighting ceremony at 6 p.m. in the downtown square. Visitors can enjoy a parade and even meet Santa and Mrs. Claus. Free shuttle services will run from 4 city locations throughout the evening.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
You're taking a live look at I-75 in Marion County. Traffic is moving with ease and skies are nice and clear. UF forecaster Jadyn Bottini is live in the weather studio. Jadyn, it's another great day to get outside with the fabulous fall weather.
That's right. It is truly just a beautiful day out here today, and luckily these sunny skies are going to continue throughout the week. We're going to heat up a little bit, but it's still going to feel comfortable out there, and right now it's comfortable for sure. We're at 73 degrees, winds about 7 miles per hour. That humidity is staying low at 44%, and really just not a cloud in the sky. So a beautiful day and a beautiful week ahead of us. Temperatures right now across north central Florida, 73 in Gainesville, 72 in Ocala, 74 in the Villages. Comfortable today. We're going to heat up a little bit tomorrow though, but our humidity will stay low. So this is key, keeping us comfortable even though we will get into the 80s where humidity is staying low. So it'll feel nice out there, 44% in Gainesville, 53% in Ocala. So low humidity means we're feeling nice even though it's warm. Wind gusts right now, a little bit breezy out there, 13 miles per hour in Gainesville, 14 in Ocala. This is when you want a jacket with these temperatures in the 60s, 70s. Makes us feel a little bit cooler when we get those wind gusts above 10 miles per hour. But we also have this high pressure to our north. That's what's keeping our skies clear this week. No cold front. That's why we're not cooling down like we did last week. Skies are staying clear though, and that northerly flow is going to continue to bring us dry air. We can see lots of dry air over north central Florida. That's what's keeping our temperatures comfortable even though we're heating up. Highs today not getting into the 80s quite yet though. We'll be at 77 in Gainesville this afternoon, 78 in Ocala, 79 in the Villages, and really just a gorgeous day ahead of us. Clear skies throughout the day. Temperatures in the upper 70s at 1 and 4 p.m. By 7 p.m. we're down into the 60s, but our lows tonight not going to get as cool as we did this morning. We were in the upper 40s this morning. We'll be in the mid 50s tomorrow morning. 55 in Gainesville, 56 in Ocala, 57 in the Villages. So this is when we are going to start to see that heat up, but we're really going to see it midweek. We're going to stay mostly clear and comfy. So even though we'll be a little warmer, it'll still be beautiful. Temperatures will be in the 80s, but again, that humidity is low, so it'll feel nice, feel comfy. It's not going to be like our summer 80s. It's our fall 80s. It's going to feel better out there. And of course, checking in on the tropics, there's no tropical cyclone activity expected in the next 7 days. Much more quiet than what we've seen the past couple of weeks, and we're hoping this is going to hold out until the end of hurricane season on November 30th. But for the rest of the week, really just beautiful out there. Highs in the 70s this afternoon for election day, but in the 80s for the rest of the week. Expect some fog Thursday morning, lows in the 50s and then 60s into the weekend, and a cool down heading into next week on Monday.
Staying within your budget during the holidays can be tough. According to a recent Bankrate survey, more than 1 in 4 shoppers may take on debt this gift buying season. CNN's Michael Yoshida tells us about some financial pitfalls to avoid and how to find savings while still giving meaningful gifts.
'Tis the season when gift giving can take over our lives. But with many Americans still worried about rising costs, resale or secondhand shopping is becoming a more popular way for finding value and meaning in gifts.
What we're finding is that consumers are ready to spend nearly 40% of their holiday budgets on secondhand, which is up significantly from last year.
Alon Rotem of ThreadUp, an online thrift store, says the stigma around buying secondhand is starting to disappear, with it becoming more mainstream.
Because value is king with consumers, this is a great way for them to extend their dollar and get more for their money. Secondhand is also a way to sort of cut through the noise of the ordinary and find more unique items that tell a story, items that are more personal.
Other ways to save. Start early to take advantage of end-of-summer clearance sales. Don't wait until Black Friday. Use reward credit cards, taking advantage of cash back or points. And to keep your holiday shopping from turning into a financial horror show, remember, for your debit card, know your balance, don't overdraft and suffer fees. For your credit card, even if you have a high limit, don't spend beyond your budget. And with buy now, pay later options, try not to use them for discretionary spending that can quickly add up.
Very easy to forget, say, 2 out of the 20 small purchases with different payment due dates that you made from a few months ago. And once you have missed payments, they may get reported to the credit bureaus.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, soy Valentina Echeverri con tus noticias en 90 segundos. El referendo sobre el control de los servicios públicos en Gainesville recibió 7.588 votos antes del último día de votación. La participación fue del 9% y los funcionarios de GRU planean presentar una moción de emergencia después de que cierran las urnas este martes. Si la Corte aprueba, GRU seguirá a cargo hasta que se resuelven las dudas legales sobre el poder de la Comisión de la Ciudad. Ex vicepresidente Dick Cheney se muere a los 84 años de edad. El ex vicepresidente Dick Cheney ha muerto a los 84 años después de complicaciones con su neumonía y enfermedades cardíacas y vasculares. La familia de Cheney anunció su muerte el lunes. Cheney fue el vicepresidente bajo la administración de los Bush. Cheney fue reconocido por muchos como uno de los vicepresidentes más poderosos y polarizados en la historia de los Estados Unidos. Cheney fue uno de los defensores destacados de la invasión de Irak y también sirvió como el jefe de defensa durante la Guerra del Golfo Pérsico en el 1990. Estudiantes de la Universidad de la Florida podrían enfrentar aumentos en las tarifas el próximo año. El Consejo Directivo está considerando subir la tarifa deportiva a $1.56 más por crédito y la tarifa de salud a 27 centavos más por crédito. Los miembros del Consejo dicen que la tarifa deportiva no ha cambiado desde el año 2000 y la de salud desde el 2015. De aprobarse, los cambios entrarían en vigencia en el otoño del 2026. La propuesta será discutida por los líderes el próximo 4 de diciembre. Estas fueron tus noticias de 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
Hi, I'm Liz Landen with your Midday Sports. The champs were back on the court last night, but their quest to start the season where they left off in April fell short. Arizona's new players dominated the defending champions in Las Vegas Monday night. Koa Pete and Jadyn Bradley combined for 57 points, making the game a challenging one for Florida. Yet, Florida junior Thomas Houck took the lead, playing a new position and reaching a career high of 27 points. Final score, 87-93. The Gators are in the O-Dome for the first time Thursday against UNF. And speaking of UNF, the Ospreys fell to the women's Florida basketball team last night. Liv McGill led the team with 26 points and was 1 rebound and assist away from posting her career's second triple-double. 5 other Gators also scored in double digits, including freshman Katarina Piatti, who led in the third quarter and finished with 14 points. Final score for this one, 96-62. The Gators are also back on the court Thursday at home against Chattanooga. Gators football interim coach wants to put the loss to Georgia behind them and focus on facing Kentucky in Lexington Saturday. Despite the loss, Billy Gonzalez expressed satisfaction with the team's performance.
Moral victories are not what we're chasing here. We're chasing wins. We're chasing victories. So we got to get back to work this week and get ready to rock and roll.
Wide receiver Dallas Wilson to injury on Saturday. Eugene Wilson III will take on an extra workload for the remainder of the season. Now 2-3 in the SEC, the Gators don't have much time to turn their season around. Finally, Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers was acquired by the Jacksonville Jaguars this afternoon. Hear more about the details of the trade tonight on First at 5. And that's your Midday Sports Report. I'm Liz Landen.
We have some more news for you today on our show later.
Let's check back in with our midday reporter, Annaleis Holz, to find out what's coming up on First at 5.
We've got more news for you about the update on the GRU referendum. We'll tell you what the latest decision could mean for Gainesville residents moving forward. Plus, climbing aboard the sensory bus, how this mobile experience is helping local kids explore their senses in a brand new way. And changes coming to high school sports. The Florida High School Athletic Association is shaking up classifications. What it could mean for your favorite teams? All that and more at First at 5. Now let's take a final look at the weather.
Isabella, I know you talked about earlier holiday shopping and where you can save a little bit of money. Personally, I found some great coats and jackets, especially as the weather gets chilly, at Goodwill.
That's right. I'm hoping the weather will get chilly soon. We're going to heat up this week. We had a chilly week last week, but I'm hoping that winter weather is coming soon. But for right now, today our high is 77 for Election Day. Tomorrow we're going to start our highs creeping up into the 80s pretty much throughout the rest of the week. We're expecting some fog on Thursday, but highs in the 80s for the rest of the week, lows in the 50s and in the 60s into the weekend. And we're going to expect a cool down next week. On Monday, that high is 69, so it'll get pretty chilly then, and maybe you can bring out your coats.
Thanks for joining us for WUFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.